I was just curious where things were at. That was about it.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Moving on to item 6, site plan for a shed and gazebo at 217 South 4th Street. This particular project, as outlined in the memo, indicates a desire to bring into compliance, if you will, a shed that was on the site prior to the new owners taking over the property. And there is a site plan included in your material. This is a particular property. This property owner, you'll recognize, was before us before, at least at the council level. And they are going through some processes to try to clean up the site. So the new owner is trying to do so. The shed that's seen in this photo was installed without a permit and without our knowledge. And they're making a request to allow it to remain. You'll see on this subsequent submittal that they were hoping to be able to leave it in its current position. However, it doesn't meet the required setback requirements for the district of 4 feet off of the side and rear property line.
Rodney, we're only seeing the notice and agenda.
Oh, thank you for highlighting that. I was buzzing through all my sheets over here without you guys. So this is the survey that was submitted and part of the supplemental packet materials. You'll see in the bottom right hand section of the screen here that the shed is about 2.6 feet off of the east property line and somewhere about 2.4 and 5 feet off of the south property line. The minimum standard for a shed in this district and others is 4 feet off the side and rear. So part of their request would be to have it be less. I don't know that we can allow that to occur due to it being part of an ordinance. I think they would have to go through a Board of Appeals process to have a variance approved for that, of which I don't know that could be met for that standard. The deck, the highlighted yellow area, I think is also the location where they plan to put the planned gazebo as part of this site plan analysis. Michael, did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered it well. I stopped on site to make sure there was room to actually move the shed 4 feet in both directions, and it will work. It's going to be tight next to the tree, but it can be moved.
So really what we're looking for is a site plan approval to allow for the shed to be repositioned to be four feet off the side and rear, and then to place the gazebo on their deck location. It's part of a site plan because of the zoning district that it's in, and the fact that it's in the downtown business district requires, I'm sorry, it's not in the downtown business district, it's in the
design overlay district.
Correct. The design overlay district requires the plan commission review and approval of a site plan for the site.
So are they going to leave the deck and build a gazebo on top of it, or are they tearing off the deck?
It's my understanding they look to add to the deck. I don't know if structurally they have to make modifications to it, but I think as far as the site plan, their hope is to position it on the existing deck structure area.
Yeah, that's correct. This is Ashley, the owner.
Oh, thank you for chiming in.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it would be placed on top of the decking that's already there.
Are there any questions of the commissioners or any motions that are proposed?
I will make a motion to approve this. I mean, is there, I guess just one question about the gazebo being on a deck. Is that, well, I'm just kind of thinking of something where there might be an example of something like that, but then there's out at the BBGs, they have those kind of igloo things kind of on their deck, not quite like the gazebo structure wise, but
Yeah, so decks oftentimes can have, oh, well, actually, there's many structures that are built on piers and columns and footings such as a deck would be. It would have to be, designed accordingly for the load, much like if someone wants to place a hot tub, if you will, on a deck, there's loading requirements that should be analyzed prior to that installation.
Thank you. Yeah, I would make a motion to approve this.
I'll second.
Any other additional discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the
Okay.
next. Thank you, Ashley. Moving on to the next agenda item, building modification at 400 South Lynn Street. This particular property is an existing, it's kind of a non-conforming use within the district. However, it would still comply with the zoning standards, other than it's a use that's no longer permitted, if you will. The request is to put an overhang over the loading berth here to protect equipment when they're loading and unloading. Michael, is there any other insight you can add or that I've?
Yeah, they're just enclosing that section. They're putting a wall on that, at that outer area where the foundation comes out, and then they're just extending that roof line out. So they're just completing that section. The comp plan shows this area, I think, as multifamily. That's the difference. And the zoning is heavy industrial.
Are there any questions on this one? So just to clarify, the fact that it's a permitted use within the zoning district allows for the expansion as proposed. What we're highlighting is the fact if it was going to be repurposed, it would have to meet the planned or the multifamily use as part of the comprehensive plan. So it'd have to go through a rezoning process in the future if it was going to be repurposed.
So this is just a expansion of the building's footprint, basically for enclosed area, adding more square footage of interior, correct?
Yeah, yep.
And it's not going outside the existing foundation?
Nope.
Okay,
It's from this raised wall, is my understanding, from this point of my cursor,
yep,
essentially up. And the loading berth is still going to remain
sure.
at this point. I do think that they're enclosing that loading berth in the back. Is that right in this general area? Maybe I'm wrong on that as well. I think this is being enclosed here.
No, they're not going to enclose that. Just that one area
All right,
along the
Just the
building.
narrow strip.
Yep, narrow strip.
all right, thank you.
Well, I move to approve.
I'll second.
Are there any other discussion items or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, the motion carries. All right, moving on to the next item. The next item on the agenda is a specific implementation plan for Popeye's Restaurant at 2440 State Highway 138. This particular site is, actually I'm gonna pull it up on the screen here and probably enlarge it a slight bit so we can have a overview discussion, and then we'll have the applicant talk about it. But this is the site on the corner that also includes the Pancake Cafe site, the Dunkin' site, the Shopko Optical. So that is the location. Sure, my screen just froze for a moment here. Just 1 second here.
So this is a new building, or this is into an existing building?
It's a new building on a
Okay,
vacant
I see
site.
it, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to the screen for everyone.
That's fine.
It's not, my computer's not playing nice. There we go. So this is actually the site, in the subject site is on this corner property. And all of the other lots, lot 7-4, just in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, that is actually the location of the Dunkin' Donuts and the Shopko Optical. 7-2 is a multi-tenant facility that has the hair salon, the pancake cafe, and other user. So the remaining lots that would still be vacant at this point are 7-3 and 7-5, and 7-1 is the one where this proposed Popeye location is planned to be sited. Maybe with that general overview, I'd turn it over to Kevin Yeska of JSD and/or Ryan Matthews, who's representing Popeyes, to give us a cursory overview before questions from the commissioners.
Definitely, I can start there. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Rodney. Kevin Yeska with JSD. We are the survey, civil, and landscape team on the project. As well, I have the ownership team with Popeyes and Deanne from Gleason Architects available to answer any questions. So, Rodney, if we could start maybe with the site plan, or I can share my screen.
I think I can get it. Let's go to this one. Does this one work, Kevin? Is this the page?
Yeah, that's perfect if the commissioners feel we have enough context. So this is a more detailed look of the Popeyes proposal. We would be directly south of the Quick Trip, as most are probably familiar with this site. So we're going to access the site off of Kettle Park Way to the west. There's actually an existing curb cut off of Kettle Park Way that cars can enter on today and would pull directly into the Popeyes development. It would be supplemented then by 2 drive-through lanes that wrap around the east and then north sides of the building. So you have your order boards on the very far east side of the building, and then the pickup window on the north side of the building. The site does have 11 parking stalls on it for Popeyes, but do keep in mind that there is a shared parking agreement between the ownership group of Lot 7 and Popeyes, so that would supplement any additional parking that's needed. The building itself is 2,500 square feet, single story, and I think that covers just about everything on this side of the site. If maybe you could just flip to the architectural, Rodney.
Yep. 1 second. Are the renderings okay?
Yeah, the colored elevations, colored rendering, those are perfect. And Deanne, I believe you're on. Do you want to chime in here? Otherwise, I can cover this.
Yeah, so it's a typical, my name's Diane Duncan, I'm with Gleason Architects. And so I'm working with Ryan Matthews and Kevin on this project. And it's basically, it's Popeye's new branding. They are using some brick panels and some specific wood panels on the exterior. They have, specialty lighting and some different kind of awnings coming in. But it's their typical branding that they use on a regular basis. So we do have, I believe this one does have it has a drive-up window for order pickup, and then it has a secondary window for in case someone needs something specialty made or something, then they can pull up that secondary window. There should not be a big traffic backup with the double ordering lanes, of course, and the 2 windows. So we should have a pretty good flow on the site and be able to freely move around. It's a big enough site for us as a Popeyes team. It certainly does work and is big enough for us. So we're hoping that the city will embrace us.
Correct? Because that's front.
Are there any other comments initially from the Popeyes team, or I didn't know if Ryan Matthews had anything he wanted to add, or anyone else from that side?
No, I mean, I'm here also with my partner, Amina Ali. But I think Diane pretty much covered it all. I know a concern was the drive-through. But this one with two drive-throughs, line busting, technology that we also have, and also that second pickup window if someone is waiting for a specialty. I think you'll see that with all those combined, it really doesn't have any cause for concern about drive-through being backed up.
All right, commissioners, any questions or details you'd like to have discussed more deeply?
Rodney, I have a question.
Sure.
To refresh my memory, this lot, we did something with, it's a shared parking lot, with water, with stormwater infiltration, about a year or two ago.
Yeah, it's a great point, and Kevin might be able to speak to it, but does have underground stormwater management facilities on to accommodate the entire number 7 site. But Mr. Yeska, can you give an overview of that?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Rodney. So the underground stormwater management system was programmed, 3-4 years ago and constructed. It's designed to essentially account for the dog barking in the background. You can hear that. It is designed to account for this Popeye's development as well as lot 7-3 and lot 7-5, which are yet to come. But as we as those come online, we would continue to validate that our stormwater system is designed and working in accordance with the ordinance. So really what that's looking at is the impervious surface ratio across the entire lot and making sure we don't exceed that threshold. So it's not shown on this, but right where the cursor is, there's a very, very large underground system.
Thank you. So are there questions or comments?
I had a question.
Go ahead.
So if I'm coming down Kettle Parkway, if I'm heading south, I would turn left and then left again into the entrance, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that curb cut, how far is that from the curb cut to Kettle Parkway?
Well, this curb cut is an existing curb cut.
Okay,
So there's this curb cut and the secondary one that primarily leads into the Dunkin' Donuts, the south half of the site. So these are the 2 access points into lot 7 as a whole, the only 2 areas that have access into this overall district.
okay.
I have a question about I guess we referred to it, I think, in the past as like the stack of cars that can be the distance from the order board or order kiosk or whatever we want to call it, back to basically the entrance into this site. How many, worst case scenario, how many vehicles would that accommodate back to basically to the entrance to this site? Any idea?
Michael, I think you evaluated that. Can you speak to the number of stacked vehicles that would fit in this area before?
Yeah, I didn't evaluate it for the number of vehicles. I just made sure that they had at least 100 feet and they had more than what they were required. Plus, they put in two drive-through lanes, which
Right.
isn't required. So
So the ordinance requires 100 foot of stack length. In this case,
Correct.
you can see that there's, utilizing both lanes, we've got well over that. Michael, is there anything else that I didn't or wasn't highlighted earlier that you think we should discuss?
no, I think their team really worked through. We went back and forth a couple times and worked through it. I think it's the best site it can be.
There's no additional discussion, commissioners, we'd be looking for a motion.
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm looking at the aerial view from the pancake house looking west. And I am not seeing any street trees whatsoever on that terrace, and nothing per se in around any of the buildings, except for you have some things on I don't know, is this an actual photograph?
I believe this is an actual photograph.
Okay, so we do have trees in the parking lots.
Yep.
So my question is, are there trees required in the parking lot for this development?
Yeah, let's go to landscaping plan, just one second.
The landscape plan?
Yeah.
Oh,
All
oh, okay.
all around circle. Looks nice,
Second.
actually. It's hard when it's black and white.
Yeah,
Use your imagination a little
oh, sure.
All right, here's the landscaping plan. I don't know, Kevin,
Oh, there it
someone
is.
from your team want to give us an overview of the landscaping plan and the position of trees?
Sure, yeah, the larger circles there would be our proposed trees. And then to accompany the foundation and some of the screening requirements, we do have evergreen and deciduous shrubs with a mix of perennials and ornamental grasses, just to have some of that pop of color. To your question on where the trees between, I guess, the street and the sidewalk, that one may predate me a little bit, as that would have happened with kind of the development of Walmart, but I do know that there is a utility easement below that tree terrace area, and I wonder if that's why trees had never been planted there and possibly never will. Rodney or Michael, if you can chime in there.
Yeah, I can't speak to the easement, but
It's private streets.
it's a private street. It's not, not that diminishes the need for trees, but it is not a public, or it's not a public city right-of-way street. It was part of the planting plan for the Walmart facility, that's correct. That is actually a piece of land owned by Walmart that connects to 51.
Okay. That answers that.
Any additional questions or motions?
Was this, I'm sorry, one more question. Did I see was there a photogrammetric plan on this one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought, I didn't print it out. I remember looking at it on the computer. I thought there was something that showed the lighting level in the parking lot. No? Did I see
yep,
that?
I'm just putting it up on the screen now.
Oh, okay.
This is the lighting plan, I think.
Because there was in a previous meeting, there was a mention that I wasn't aware of about trying to maintain dark skies in Stoughton, and I was having trouble reading this, and I'm still having trouble reading it, but is it average like 0.5?
Michael,
Yeah.
you've reviewed this for compliance, correct?
right, yeah, so it's 0.5 at the property line, and of course, the elements can't be seen from a residential property, so they'll have to be down-facing like they normally are.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they get much brighter, obviously, as you get closer to the building.
And I usually follow up and check these after they're installed, so
Okay.
sometimes they have to tweak them a little. Put shrouds around them in some cases.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion related to the resolution that's in your packet. as it is, or as you would amend it?
I would move to approve.
I'll second.
Is there any additional discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Future agenda items, I think one is of particular kind of relevance at this point. We have a general development plan that oversees this area, at least as part of the Kettle Park West area, that it needs to be, comes to closure after 5 years. I know that JSD and their team are looking at requesting an extension on that for the undeveloped lots. And so we'll be seeing something forthcoming related to that at an upcoming meeting, likely in June.
That's correct, Rodney. We should be, Forward Development Group should be submitting for that on Friday of this week.
Thank you. I referenced JSD, I'm sorry, FDG would be the one applying for that continuation. Is there any other questions of the commissioners? If not, we'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much, gang, and hopefully you'll have your leader back in the chair seat next month. Have a good night.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks, Rodney.